Okay, I will share our recommendations in three parts, and I start with the recommendations for partnerships. So firstly, let's ensure a clear distribution of tasks, of responsibilities and competences between the different levels of government, between the European, national, regional, and also the municipality and local level. I mean, this is not surprising. We have this in every policy field. We have some of our partners who call for more decentralization and autonomy, and we have others who say the federal and national level is very important. Common regulations are effective, and not only effective, they are also a matter of equal conditions for all refugees in the country. On the horizontal levels in the cities themselves, it's important to develop a dynamic and coordinated model between the different partners in the city. So at the end, that you create a cohesive chain of information and advice for the newcomers by successful cooperation of these different institutions. Secondly, in terms of labor market policies, I think we have two main partners, and they play a big role in all our cities. Two partners, I mean, from the public side. And this is the public employment services in the different countries, mostly steered by the national or federal level. And we have the different city departments, and it's really important that they organize complementary work. And what Giuseppina already said, to give up this work in silos, to work together. And we made good experiences with active labor market programs for refugees, but also for those who are not recognized or are rejected or only tolerated. Thirdly, it's clear we have to involve the businesses. That's also not a surprise. That's the main key factor, but the businesses are those who offer the labor places and also the apprenticeships. The central task is here to unlock the companies. Our experience is in the last 5 years, many companies have positioned themselves either open to refugees or close to refugees. But those, and that's our experience, who hired refugees are mostly very satisfied with this decision. They are often very motivated, more motivated than others, and they contribute to diverse teams. So we can shout out to companies, if anyone is here, or organizations, let's hire refugees, you will not regret it. Fourthly, not only the businesses are important, that's clear, we need also the different municipal stakeholders, we need the NGOs, we need the social partners, we need the chambers of craft and the chambers, the other chamber, we need welfare organizations, and last but not least, we need the civil society, the numerous initiatives on the ground, also volunteer people, and also refugee communities and the refugees themselves. That's an important point that we bring all together. And fifthly, in some of our cities, we have already so-called local pacts, not only in our partnership, but also in through whole Europe. And such local pacts and local action plan issued by these pacts are very good to reach those people who cannot be reached by the mainstream organizations and the mainstream structures. So then I come to my second part, to the recommendations concerning the interventions. We recommend, if it's not already done, I think many cities have this, we recommend to establish a welcome center, a one-stop shop, according to the principle, what we heard already in our film today, accompaniment from day one on, or integration from day one on. And such a welcome centers offers first aid services. It functions as a service hub with a network of all institutions and partnerships who are responsible for refugee integration. And this service should be provided in several languages, among those from the countries, from the origin countries where the most refugees come from. Secondly, make a competence check. And by the way, if someone is here still from the European Commission, we checked also, and from the DG Employment, we checked the European skills profiling tool of the Commission, but no time here to discuss it. But in our final report, we will describe our experiences with that. But what our Vienna partners also mentioned, recording knowledge and training is not only important at the beginning, but also through the whole process and to see the development. And a very good instrument was, which was not mentioned today, I think in the plenary up to now, is the Vienna education passport, in which all the completed courses and certifications are recorded. I think this is a very good instrument. And then third point from the interventions, what already Silke Krybolutski said, support self-assurance and system learning. So that means to foster the capacity of refugees to navigate in the legal, social, cultural, and working context. This is easily said, but hard to do, as we know. And fourthly, implement information and counseling services with good equipped and good qualified counselors and coaches. And ideality, that should be long-lasting relationships, trustful relationships, ideality, in ideal status, and also integrating digital services and digital devices and messenger services. And fifthly, organize outreach actions to go where the refugees are, in the districts, in the neighborhoods. We had this example of neighborhood moms, but also the project Compare in Vienna, which addresses the parents, is going in the neighborhoods. Yeah. So, and here I want to add something. Yes, we said we look for speed up, we look for integration as quick as possible of refugees into the labor market, but sometimes the direct way is not the fastest way. So we need also to do many things around to prepare refugees for the labor market, and this we will describe also more. And another point, the sixth point, is the combine language and vocational training courses for faster integrations. We had this fantastic Swedish for Professional example applied and adopted in Italy and in Berlin. And I think there's already said a lot, so I will say not more to this. We should offer team teaching, this is connected to that, and part-time courses. And we need to sensitize everyone to find workplaces, first of all in the companies, but not only in companies, also the municipalities themselves. And NGOs and others can offer working places. And we should have in mind that we should sensitize refugees also for apprenticeships, to have a better qualifications. Yeah, I think that's it from the interventions. The last intervention, which is also important, launch programs that support the entrepreneurial spirit and the self-employment of refugees. And here we can dock on often to the qualifications they already had in their home country. And now my last point, I hope I have this time still, special recommendations for female refugees. You know, female refugees are in the core of our projects. You have heard 300 of our participants around in the pilot projects, 230 of them, 80% or almost, were women. But the reality is different. When we look at the jobs, at least in Germany, it's the case that the share of women who are in jobs is much lower than the share of men. But 86% of the women refugees, they want to work. So we have here really a need for action. What we, and now I come to my last point, what we recommend here is firstly, we should be aware of the personal experience of the women in their home country and also the flight experience that are different from those of men. Secondly, we should therefore offer special settings of counseling and extra language courses and vocational training towards special professions. And what we see is, especially at the beginning of the integration process, it is important to accompany women, to give them room to be under themselves. And we have found that it's important. And also important, more as a hard factor, is to provide childcare support. And last point, that is more cultural issue or intercultural issue. We should provide information and learning about equality and expectations of the hosting society. The task is here to break up traditional role models, raising self-esteem and achieving acceptance of the system of the host country. But this is for men and for women. And we should at the same time respect the culture of those who come to us. So that were my points and our recommendations. I only summarized it, my last 3 sentences. Our final report will include much more detailed and elaborated version of these recommendations. You can be sure, and if you are interested, we will send it out. And what encourages me personally is that we were so successful to set up longer-lasting structures and follow-ups. So far in Stockholm with the neighborhood months and in Vienna with the follow-up of the Compare project. And I hope that we will continue our cooperation in the FAB project amongst the FAB partners, but maybe also beyond. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your attention.